Hello everyone, welcome to our follow along total body workout for June 2019. So I'm going to give you a couple minutes for those of you that are logging on live. If you're watching this and catching the replay, make sure that you've got your equipment ready. I think Carrie Ann and Chantel, I know, said that are going to join us. They're going to join us live, which is awesome. So what you're going to need for this workout, what we're going to do is we'll do a warm-up, then we're going to do 3 exercises 3 times. We'll finish those, we'll move on to another 3 exercises 3 times. We're going to hit everything: chest, back, shoulders, glutes, hamstrings, quads. Oh, Denine's watching too, amazing. So what you need is you need access, number 1, to a bench. So I'm going to use this weight bench. You don't need an actual weight bench though. A very sturdy chair, the edge of a step or a stair, an aerobic step, even the edge of a coffee table or a couch, or an armchair, that sort of thing. We'll do our incline push-ups on that. We'll do our seated hip openers on that, and we'll do our 1-arm rows on that. So just some sort of elevated ledge. You're gonna need 2 different dumbbells, one for your 1-arm row, so probably a little heavier, like 15, 20, 25 pounds, 30 pounds, 35 pounds, because we'll be doing 10 reps. And then a dumbbell for overhead press, which we're gonna pair with a curtsy lunge. So probably a little bit lighter than your rowing weight. We'll do 10 reps on each side for that one as well. Anywhere between like 8 to 20 likely would be your dumbbell size for that. And then you'll need your mini band for some of our glute and hip exercises, and your mat, and a lacrosse ball to use for our warm-up and for our cool-down. So, as you guys are starting to get your stuff all ready, I would like you to find your lacrosse ball. You can see my feet in the video, yeah. And we're gonna start our rolling. So, first things first, we're gonna put the ball under our forefoot. So right under in front of your arch, right under your forefoot, you're gonna let your toes kind of curl over the ball, and you're just gonna let that ankle go in and out. So this is hopefully not happening from our hip too much. It's more of an ankle dominated movement. We're rolling that ankle in and out, in and out. Of course the hip is gonna move a little bit. This is a great move to wake up the feet for your squats and lunges and hip lifts, all those fun exercises that use our legs. Now let's roll the ball along the arch of our foot. We're gonna roll towards the inside of our foot. Oh yeah, towards the inside of the arch. We're gonna roll right over the middle of our arch. Then we're gonna roll towards the outside of our arch, just getting a little bit more blood flow into your feet. And remembering, if you don't have a lacrosse ball, a tennis ball, a golf ball, a yoga therapy ball, anything that's gonna, even a wine bottle actually works all right for this one, just gives you a little bit of pressure into the arch of your foot. Okay, now you're gonna put your heel up onto the ball like this. So the ball is standing right underneath my heel, and I'm gonna step my free leg forward and back, okay? Forward and back, forward and back. So my heel is on the ball, and I'm kind of having to balance it. It might feel like a little bit of release for your heel under the ball. Then you're gonna keep your foot forward, and you're gonna cross over and back. So this is to get into the hip of the leg that is on the ball. So now I'm crossing over and back in front of my foot that's on the ball. Oh, that feels good. Getting into the sides of those hips. Let's do 2 more on this side. And now we're going to add a little rotation. So we're going to rotate that foot in front and then open up. Rotate the foot in front and open up. You're still keeping a lot of your weight in your heel onto this ball. It's really, really feeling like I'm opening up through my heel. Some of the tight spots in there. Rounding and opening. So a little bit of internal and external rotation at the hip. Okay, let's switch to our other side. So forefoot goes onto the ball, right? We're gonna allow that ankle to roll in and out. Remember, the action is coming from the ankle, so it shouldn't be like your hip is doing all this movement. we want the ankle to initiate the movement. So rolling in and rolling out. Lots of us have really locked up ankles, which just tends to lock everything up the kinetic chain into your hips, into your back. So spending a bit of time waking up your feet before we do the hard stuff is a great strategy for the whole kinetic chain working better. Okay, now start to roll the inside of your arch on that lacrosse ball, rolling right on the inside. I tend to find that the inside is the more tender spot on my foot. Oh yeah, getting a little blood flow there, breaking up some tightness and tension. Now go rolling back and forth on the middle of your arch. I love warming up for workouts this way. It's like a really nice bottoms up warm up. And then roll a little bit more to the outside of your arch. It's harder to control the ball out there, but oh man, does it feel good. And basically when you put your foot on the ground after these exercises, it should feel like your feet are just working better, like they're sensing the floor better, they're not so locked up and tight. Okay, now place your heel, remember, right on top of this lacrosse ball. Spread your toes, so it's like you're wearing high heels, right? The heel is the lacrosse ball underneath your heel. So now we're going to step forward and back, forward and back. I'll show you from the front what this looks like. So I'm getting a release underneath my heel of the foot that's standing on the ball, and I'm asking my hip to do these 3 different movements. So we're starting off with forward and back, obviously. So 2 things happening. We're releasing the heel of the foot that's on the ball, and we're getting this hip of the foot that's on the ball to wake up and do some work. Now let's go over and back. So we're stepping in front slightly, and you're going to cross your foot over and back. This is when I really start to feel my hip doing a little bit more work. It's coming in and out. So I'm just moving my foot over and back across the front. Oh yeah, it feels really good. Especially if you run or cycle a lot. These are excellent exercises to get into your hips. Return a little bit more 3-dimensional motion into those hips. Now let's add the rotation. So over the front and open up. I find this to be the hardest one. Most women tend to find rotational stuff to be the toughest, just because of the way that our hips are set up. Rotation and back, rotation and back. Couple more. Last one. Ooh, I really felt that under my heel. So let's take the ball and move it off to the side. We're just going to do a little side lunge warm up. So you're going to take a step to the side in your side lunge. Then you're going to cross your foot all the way over and let your hips come with you. So the hips are coming to the side lunging leg and then to the crossover leg. Side lunge and crossover. So feeling a pull on the inner thigh and then a pull on the outer hip. Great way to get into the sides of those hips so that we just get a little bit more movement. We're going to be way less locked up in our lower back when we do this. Couple more. Side lunge, crossover. Let the hips move from one side to the other. Okay, other side. So side lunge, crossover. You might notice one side your hips are just a little bit tighter. They might not want to move from side to side as much. So feeling that nice stretch on the side of the hip and the inner thigh as we do this. A couple more. Oh, I love this one. Last one. Side lunging crossover. Okay, elbows go up. We're going to rotate open and closed. I almost always do this move, this Cuban press, anytime I'm going to do overhead stuff like overhead presses or push-ups, of which we're doing both today, or bench press or dumbbell bench press, any of that kind of stuff. This is a great way to wake up your rotator cuff. So now elbows go in, and we're going to open up and close this way. Once again, waking up those rotator cuff muscles. Okay, time to get started. So first exercise on the docket is a curtsy lunge and shoulder press. We've got 3 exercises in this first set. We'll run through them 3 times. The first time through, I'll kind of coach you a little bit more. Remember, you're always going at your own pace. So I might be going slower or faster than you. You're going to count your own reps, obviously, because I'm not in your living room with you. But make sure that you lift a weight that's challenging enough for you. So by the time you get to 8, 9, 10 reps, it feels pretty tough, but you're still able to do the exercise with great form. So I'm going to grab my 10 for my curtsy lunge and shoulder press. I'm going to step back just a little bit so you can actually see my whole body. So we're going to stay on one side for the whole time before we move to the other side. I'm going to stand on my left and press with my right. So my curtsy lunge is going to be with my left leg in front, and my right arm is going to be the pressing arm, okay? You set yourself up so you're lunging and pressing with opposite arm and leg. Let's go for 10 times. So cross that knee behind you, come down into your curtsy lunge, and press up. So remember, in your curtsy lunge, your knee comes to the outside of your ankle. We're already on rep 3. And you're still keeping quite a bit of weight in that front foot. There's number 5. Curtsy lunge, then stand all the way up. Make sure the big toe and heel are pushing into the ground. We've got 3 more on this side. Last 2. Feeling work on the side of our hip. And last 1. Okay, switch to your other side. Get that dumbbell up to your shoulder, standing on your opposite leg versus the arm that's holding the dumbbell. Cross your leg over and behind, sink those knees down, stand up and press. 9 more. Curtsy lunge and shoulder press. 3. Good, good. 4. Remember, make sure that heel and big toe of that front leg are pressing into the floor. There's 6. We got 4 more. Good job, guys. Stand up nice and tall. Let that front leg take most of the weight. Last one here. Woohoo! Okay. Switch dumbbells to your heavier dumbbell. You're going to take yourself onto your bench. Knee and hand go onto the bench. Your dumbbell is going to come into that free arm. Remember, we're making a tripod with our hand and our knee and our foot. So all those 3 connection points are evenly weighted, okay? That's how we ensure that our core is going to get the most stability. Our other free arm has a dumbbell. We're pulling the dumbbell beside our torso. Give me 10 reps. 10, 9, keep breathing. 8, control that movement. 6, 5, you're going at your own pace, counting your own reps. 4 more. 3, 2, and 1. Okay, switch over to your other side. So remember, hand is going right underneath shoulder. You're creating that tripod with your knee, your foot, and your hand. Give me 10, 9. Remember, you're pretty strong in this range of motion. So we can lift pretty heavy on this one. I got 5 more reps. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, drop that dumbbell down. Third exercise of round 1, you're going to put this torturous band just below your knees. I just say torturous band like so off the cuff. Mini band, but you know, it's a torturous band too. So I'm sitting, I'm kind of moving the fleshy bits to the side. It's kind of sore because I went for a bike ride on Monday. Still feeling it, even with bike shorts. I'm sitting up nice and tall, bands below my knees. My feet are a bit wider than hip width distance apart. I'm going to allow my knees to come together to touch. Then I'm going to use my lateral hips to open them up. Okay, we're going to do 15 of these, not super fast. Let's control it. So in and out is 1, in and out is 2, and 3, 4. Standing nice and tall, but relaxing the upper body. 7, almost halfway. 8, 9, 10, inner and outer hips working. 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. Should be feeling that right on the sides of your hips, maybe even on your inner thighs. Okay, band comes off. Back to that smaller dumbbell. This is set 2 of 3. Curtsy lunge and shoulder press. So I'm standing on my left leg, pressing with my right arm. That's the move, okay? Here we go, give me 10. So curtsy lunge back, stand up and press for 1 and 2. Remember, you can always change your weights as we go through this. Maybe you're gonna lift a little heavier, maybe you're gonna lift a little lighter. Trying to challenge yourself, but meet yourself where you are at. All the way to 10 on this side. Got 4 more. And 3. Big toe and heel push into the ground. 2. And last 1. Woo! Okay, other side. So now I'm holding dumbbell with left, standing on the right. Remember, curtsy lunge, your leg crosses over and your hip drops a little bit. That's why we're going to feel more work in those lateral hips. Here we go. Give me 10, curtsy lunge, press it up. 2, 3, 4, 5 to go. Keep it up. 6, really focus on pushing that big toe and heel into the ground over the foot that you're standing on. 3 left. This one always gets my heart rate up. Last one. Nice. Okay. Drop that dumbbell. Find your heavier weight. So 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, maybe even 40 pounds for this one. Give me 10 reps. It should feel tough by that last rep, okay? Ready, steady, here we go. Give me 10. You got your tripod set up. Really keeping a nice neutral spine as we go through this. Pulling that elbow right beside the torso. Halfway there. Also working a bit of biceps. 3 more. 2 more. And last one. So this one arm row is mostly mid-back, biceps, and back of the shoulder. Give me 10 on that second side. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, and 10. Okay. Find your mini band, torture band, whatever you'd like to call it. I'm going to sit on the front this time so you can see me. Place it just below your knees. Mine's gotten a little sticky here. Sometimes that happens when they get rolled up. So just underneath the knees, we want the feet a little bit wider than hip width distance apart, making sure you're sitting right up tall on those sit bones. Knees are wide, because then we'll allow those knees to, or the hips to kind of internally rotate. It's a really good, healthy action for your femurs, your big thigh bone to do that, okay? 15 of these. So let's open for 1. Let that internal rotation happen. 2. Then externally rotate. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Lots of work at those lateral hips. 9, 10, 11, 12. Stay nice and tall. 13, 14, and 15. Okay, band comes off. That's the end of round 2. We got 1 more round through these exercises. Curtsy lunge and press, 1 arm row, and seated hip openers. Then we'll take a quick water break before we get to our next set. All right, grab your dumbbell. I'm standing on left, pressing with my right. You can obviously switch up as you go. 10 reps. Let's do this. So, curtsy lunge, stand up and press. 2. Lots of work on this left leg, if that's the leg that you're standing on. That's their front lunging leg. Crossing that right leg behind you. 5, 6. Good job. Nice and tall. 7, 8, 9, and 10. Ta-da! Okay, switching to the other side. Dumbbell goes up, pressing with the opposite leg that's lunging. Cross that leg behind, stand up nice and tall. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2 ground, same as the heel, and 10, woo! Okay, drop that dumbbell down, all done with those curtsy lunge and presses. Set up for your one arm row, find your tripod, get that heavy dumbbell, and give me 10. Here we go. 8, 7, control that movement, not too fast. We got 4 more, 3 more, 2, and 1. Okay, other side, give me 10 reps. Set up your tripod, hand, knee, and foot. Take in all the weight, row for 10. Remember, you get to pick the intensity by how much weight you lift. I get to pick the intensity by the exercises I've chosen. 5, 4, not giving you much break in between them. 3, 2, and 1. Good job. Okay, last time, torture band on for this exercise. Now, I'm going to get you to keep the torture band on for the beginning of the next set, just so that you don't have to take it on and off, because that's at least half the workout in itself, right? Okay, so remember sitting up onto your sit bones, nice and tall. Knees are a bit wider than hip width distance apart, so we can let those knees kind of roll in. And give me 15. Open and close for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You got 5 left. 4 more. Nice and tall. 3, 2, last one. Okay, keep the band on. See, I almost took it off there, if you can believe it. Keep that torture band on. Grab yourself some water, and we're going to move right into our next set of 3 exercises. Where did I put my water bottle? I know I brought it down here. Oh, maybe I didn't bring it. Oh well, you win some, you lose some in the game of life. Okay, so we're going to set ourselves up for the next exercise, which is a staggered stance hip thrust. So this is when you're going to need that bench, edge of coffee table, edge of couch, right where your bra strap line is. So right here, not on your upper back, not on your lower back, upper mid back, bra strap line. That is what is going to go into the edge of your bench or your chair or your couch, okay? So it's my bra strap that goes against the edge of the bench. That's my pivot point, okay? So I'm not popping through my rib cage, I'm pivoting at my rib cage. So I'm going to be dropping my hips and my torso and then lifting from the hips. So it's not this kind of movement, all right? That's just going to give you a tight upper back. If we pivot around the upper back, then we're going to get our butt and our hamstrings doing more work, which is what we want. So torture band is on. Now we're going to stagger our legs. So let's bring our left leg in about 6 inches. So the left leg is closer in. I'm going to keep my eyes looking at my thighs, so eyes down to my legs. I'm going to feel my left leg more because it's in closer. Okay, we'll do 10 on each leg. So let's drop your butt, then lift your hips by pushing both heels into the ground. That's 1, drop your hips. So lots of action at the knees, right? We're pulling the knees apart. We're pushing the heels of the feet into the ground. Same as the big toes. We're not letting those big toes come off the ground. Holy man, it's a lot to think of. But when we do that, lots of work at the glutes and the hamstrings. More work on this left leg because it's a little bit closer. I love the staggered stance. One of my favorite. Let's do 3 more on this side. Pivoting at that mid back, not just popping through your rib cage. Okay, last one. Woo. All right, stay up. Walk that right foot in, walk the left foot out slightly, so now your right foot is closer than your left foot. Again, give me 10. So we're dropping the hips, lifting up. Big toes pressing into the ground, knees pulling apart, heels pushing into the floor. Holy man, it's a lot of work going on through those hips and hamstrings, pivoting at that mid-back, not just letting your rib cage pop and lock. Okay, keep going. 4 more. Heels, heels, push into the ground. 3 more. Woo. Last 2. And last 1. Okay, so little troubleshooting for this exercise. If you're getting any achiness in your low back, number 1, make sure that you have a band on because that can really help. If you're still getting achiness in your low back, walk your feet a little closer to the bench or chair or whatever you're using. If your feet are out too far, sometimes it can put a little bit too much pressure on your low back. Okay, take the band off. Thank goodness. And exercise 2 of set number 2, or round number 1, is 5 slow incline push-ups. So if you've been doing lots of push-ups lately and you're feeling really strong, you can do this on the floor. Or if you want it to be a little easier, you can go from your knees using the incline. So my hands are just a little bit wider apart than shoulder width distance. My chest is right over my hands, right? So I'm not back here. I'm going to inhale, then exhale to engage my core. I'm going to inhale on the way down, exhale on the way up. Slow, and you're going to give me 5, okay? Here we go. So inhale down, exhale, press up, inhale down, exhale, press up, chest, shoulders, triceps, and core. 3 more. Ooh, feeling good. 2 more. Slow and steady, try not to rush it. Last 1. Woo! Okay, great job. Now, head over to the wall. So this is a tough exercise to figure out. It's kind of like a dead bug, but we're going to put our hands against the wall. You could do this with a couch or something sturdy that's not going to move away from you. So my head is almost touching the wall. My hands are just going to press into the wall like this, and I'm going to drop 1 heel at a time down to the ground. We'll do 10 on each side, but as you're dropping your heels, I want you to really press your arms into the wall. So arms pressing into the wall, heel is dropping away, okay? So I like to inhale as I drop my leg, exhale as I bring my leg back up and in. 10 on each side. Let's go slow and controlled. This one is tough. Looks easy, but it's not easy. Okay, hands pressing into the wall. Your head is really close to the wall. Let's inhale as your heel goes down. Then exhale as it comes back up. Other side. Inhale, then exhale. Firmly pressing the hands into the wall, literally as if you're trying to push the wall away. That is really going to help you feel more work in your abs than your low back, okay? If you want to make this harder, we can extend a straight leg out instead of a bent leg. Holy moly, feeling the core. Press the hands into the wall, push, push, push it away. Exhale as you bring the leg back up and in. 3 more on each side. Last 2. So close. Last 1, use that breathing. And 1. Whew. Okay, that is a hard exercise. So, of course, if you don't have a wall handy, you could do just a dead bug, but by pushing your hands into the wall, so pretend I'm lying on my back, and the wall is right above my head, I'm literally pushing my hands into the wall the whole time. That's going to help me feel a lot more work through my abs. Try not to arch the low back, of course. All right, back to the start of round 2, set 2, round 2. Put your torture band back on. Staggered stance, hip thrust. So band goes just above the knees. The knees are pulling apart at all times. You're pivoting at your rib cage. So not just dropping your chest, actually pivoting around that bra strap area. Let's bring our right foot in closer this time. Big toes down, heels down, knees out. Man, there's a lot to think about on this one. Okay, give me 10. Drop the hips, lift the hips. Drop the hips, lift the hips. heels into the ground, big toes into the ground, knees pulling apart, pivoting at the rib cage, not just dropping through the rib cage. 3 more on this side. You should be feeling this in your butt and in your hamstring, particularly of the right leg. Woo. Okay, switch sides. So walk that left foot in, walk the right foot out slightly. Remember, if you're feeling low back pain, bring your foot even a bit closer, okay? Give me 10. Mostly the left leg doing the work here this time. 2. Knees pulling apart, big toe and heel down. 3. There's 4. 5. 6. Almost there. 7. 8. 9. And 10. Woo! Okay, take that torture band off. Get ready for your slow push-ups. Maybe doing them on the floor, maybe from the toes, maybe from the knees, maybe with the incline. That's going to make it a little easier. 5 of them, super slow. Inhale down, exhale on the way up. Here we go. Count those reps. Give me 5. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Fifth one. Woohoo! Okay, find yourself that spot on the wall. The key to this one is really having your head super close to the wall. So literally, like my bun is pushing against the wall because there's going to be about 2 inches between my head and the wall. Okay? I'm keeping my hands, my elbows are bent, hands pushing into the wall. Let's get those knees up to tabletop position. Inhale to drop the leg as you push your hands into the wall. Exhale to lift the leg as you push the hands into the wall. So your arms should be pretty tired in this one, okay? 10 on each side. Let's go. Inhale down. Exhale. Kind of tuck your chin a little bit to lengthen the back of your neck. Woo. Should be feeling lots of work through those abdominals, especially as you lengthen that leg out. Exhale to drop back in. So close. Finishing off your second set here. Give me 4 more on each side. Extend or use a bent knee to make it a little bit easier. 3 more. Active hands. Press them into the wall. Woo. Last 2 more. Last 1. Okay. 1 on each side. Woo-hoo. Okay, roll on out of that one. Guys, we got 1 more set through each exercise here, starting off with that staggered stance hip thrust. So I like this exercise because really it's just a good progression or regression of a single leg hip thrust, right? Keeps your hips just a little bit more stable, but you still get lots of butt and hamstring work. Let's get that mid back onto the bench. We're going to walk our left leg in a little closer, our right leg out a little further, and let's go. Give me 10. So there are lots of things to think about in this exercise. The knees are pulling apart. The big toes are pressing into the ground. The heels are pressing into the ground. So you should feel quite active at your feet, at your knees, and definitely at your hips. Somewhat relaxed in the upper body, hopefully. 3 more. 2 and 1. Okay, walk the right foot in, walk the left foot out, just slightly. It's not going to be a huge stagger. Pull those knees apart, heels down, toes down. Give me 10 on the other side. Drop and lift. Woo. 5 more. Remember to pivot at that rib cage. Drop, drop, drop your butt down, lift it up. 3, 2, last 1. Okay, take the torture band off. Get yourself set up for your last 5 slow push-ups. Knees, toes, incline, floor. So the hardest option is going to be going from your toes on the floor. Easiest option is going to be going from your knees using an incline. Okay? Pick your poison. Give me 5 reps. Let's go. Inhale down. Exhale on the way up. Inhale down. Exhale on the way up. Inhale down. Exhale on the way up. Last 2. Last 1. Woo! Okay, final set of hands against the wall, heel drops. Also known as a spicier version of the dead bug. Because when we activate those hands into the wall, our core, our abs have to do more work. So if I was in the room with you and I came over and I kind of touched your hand or looked at your forearms, they should be like working really hard to press. It's like you're trying to push the wall over. Okay, you're trying to push the wall to go further behind you. All right, hands go into the wall. You need your head to be close to the wall for that to work. Knees go up. Press into the wall. Elbows tuck in. Drop one heel down, straight or bent. Exhale, return it up. Number 2, 3, 10 on each side. Use your breathing. Try not to bring your knees too close to your chest, right? Keep them right above your hips. Your abs are going to work even harder. Holy moly, you're over halfway. 4 more on each side, guys. Ooh, 2 more on each side, 4 total. Use that breathing. Exhale. Last 2 on. Oh, okay. Come on out of it. I really hope that you're sweating. Because I definitely am. All right, guys. Have some water. Oh, there you go. You can see my sweat going. Have some water. And we're going to get into a little mobility, a little bit of stretch here for a second. So we're going to use this lacrosse ball again. We're going to do that low back release. It's a really nice exercise to do before or after that heel drop. So remember, this is the bottom of your rib cage, right here. This is the top of your hip bone. And in that space right here, there's going to be no bony stuff. So we don't want to be putting the ball on our rib cage. We don't want to be putting it on the top of our hip bone. We want to be putting it close to our spine, not on our spine, right below the rib, right above the hip, okay? That's what we're going to do. So I've got the ball on my right side to start. I'm going to lie on my back, and my knees are going to gently come to the right and back to center. So every time I teach this in class, people go really fast, and the rib cage pops up because the back is trying to get away from the sensation of the ball. So keep your rib cage down, okay? Put your hands right there. Keep the rib cage down. Let the knees fall to the side, and then come back to the center. Fall to the side. Come back to the center. Let's do 2 more before we'll stay on the same side, but we'll just move the ball a little bit. So I feel like I want to move the ball down about 1 to 2 centimeters. That's going to be a little tighter spot. My knees are falling to the right, coming back to center. So you'll notice that one side of your spine is going to be a lot tighter than the other. For me, it's actually normally my left side. Usually it's going to be your non-dominant side. So for me, it's my left. If you're left-handed, it might be your right. Okay. Now, take the ball out, put it on the other side. So remember, below your rib cage, above your hip bone, there's maybe like 6 or so inches of space right there. And I've got that ball kind of close to my spine, but not on my spine. It's on the left side now, so my knees are going to fall to the left. I'm I'm not going to let that rib cage pop up even though it wants to. To the left and back to center. And remember, your knees aren't necessarily going to come to the ground. They're just going to go about 8 to 10 inches to the left and back to center. So towards the side that has the ball on it. I'm breathing out hard because this side is a lot more intense for me. Okay, I'm going to move the ball up just a little bit. You might find that moving the ball down is going to get that spicier spot for you. You can play around with that. Dropping those knees to the left and back to center. And this is one of those moves where you don't really want to be like pushing your back into the ball. You want to allow your back muscle to almost accept the ball up into the muscle. Because if we're really like squeezing our back and pushing into the muscle, then we're not going to get a ton of release, right? We want the back muscle to try to relax and let go if possible. Okay, let us release this side. Roll right over onto your side. Stack your knees, stack your hips, stack your hands. Keep your head down. Take your top arm and trace a half moon over your head. So once the arm gets over top of your head, allow your chest and your torso to open. So your arms are reaching out in a T position. Nice stretch for the chest. Then you're going to bring that arm back over the head to stack the arms one on top of the other. Then try it again. Over the top, opening through the chest. And shoulders all the way back and over. Good, good. Let's try one more on this side. Open through the chest. Now stay with your arms open. And your top leg, you're going to kick that top leg out and try to let it rest on the floor. If you can grab your toe, cool, but you don't have to. You should probably feel a really nice stretch down your IT band and a nice stretch through your chest. Oh yeah, stay there for a sec. Take a nice deep breath. And then release the leg and bring the arm back over the top. Okay, we're going to switch to your other side. So you can roll right onto your other side. I'm just going to do this so you can see me. Okay, hips and ankles are stacked, shoulders are stacked. I'm tracing that half moon over the top of my head, getting into my chest. Oh, yeah. And then closing it up. Getting right open into my chest and my shoulders. Once that hand goes over my head, I allow my torso and my chest to kind of roll open a little further. Oh, that feels good. Okay, this is the last one. So we're going to hold this in that kind of T position with the arms. I'm going to extend my top leg. Maybe it'll just rest in a little sort of like you kicked it out straight. You can rest that foot onto the ground, or if the flexibility is there for you, you can grab for that toe. So you should be getting a nice opening through your chest and your torso and into your IT band as well. Oh, that feels good. And then we'll release this stretch. Okay, we're going to do a quad stretch here. So you've got two options. You can stand up and pull your foot to your butt like so, or you can do a little bit more of an intense version. You'll do a hip flexor lunge. You'll bend your back knee to grab for that foot, and then you're going to try to pull your foot towards your butt as you lunge forward slightly. So remember, the standing up quad stretch is a really great option. This is just another option that you have if it feels best for you, because I love this option for my hip flexors and my quads. Hip flexors and quads, both working. Okay, let's release. Now switch to your other side, either standing or in this half kneeling position. Reach back for that foot, whoop, and start to lunge just gently into the stretch, not a super intense lunge. Then start to pull that foot towards your butt. So there's kind of two things going on. A mini little hip flexor lunge and the heel pulling towards the butt. Oh, Feels good. Okay, release this stretch, and you are all finished. Thank you so much for joining me in today's follow along workout, total body. We hit everything: quads, glutes, hamstrings, chest, back, shoulders, a little bit of abdominals, lots of fun stuff. Okay, and a little bit of triceps in that wall pushing exercise. So as always, let me know how you did. Let me know how you feel tomorrow. We're going to check in tomorrow, which is Thursday, June 27th, because your new content for people in month 43 is coming out Friday. If you're in month 3, your new content will be coming out Sunday. If you're in all the other different months, your content's going to be coming out in the next 5 days or so, depending on where you're at. So we're going to check in with how many workouts you did this month. And remember, I'm drawing for a big prize of a free pair of running shoes. So make sure that you check in. Even if you didn't meet your goal, you'll still get an entry into the contest. If you made your goal, you get 2 entries into the contest. Thanks, Chantel, for joining. Thanks, Carrie Ann, for joining. Awesome. So nice to have you guys. All right. Have a wonderful rest of your day. I'm off to make some more videos. See you guys.